This episode is brought to you by FX's Feud, Capote versus the Swans. Inspired by actual events, the series tells the story of Truman Capote and the women he betrayed. The original housewives. They were society's most elite women. Rich, glamorous socialites who defined a bygone era of high society New York. From creator Ryan Murphy, this drama series features an all-star cast, including Naomi Watts, Demi Moore, and Diane Lane. FX's Feud premieres January 31st on FX Stream on Hulu.
Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, now streaming only on Netflix.
Bare naked, bare naked, bare naked, ABCs. So Brown, he had two friends. The names were Dan and Jillian. Summer days walking on the strand.
Welcome to the Bare Naked ABC, where we are discussing every Bare Naked song from 7 to Y. And this week, I have Jeff and I have Aaron, but hello. Don't have Stefan. I mean, friends grow together, they grow apart, and some friends break each other's hearts.
Oh, that was beautiful.
And Stefan did. He's not here with us this week, and it breaks my heart.
This song was just too weird even for Stefan.
Wow, that takes a lot. This is a different one. Yes, this week we are discussing the song Joseph Brown. Which, Aaron, what album is this off from?
Probably a Johnny Cash album. Is this a cover?
It is not a cover.
No, wait, that was I Still Miss Someone. I was
yeah,
thinking,
right.
Oh yeah, this is wow, I got my wires crossed. Sorry about that.
Never a chance in hell are you going to get this one.
This one is also I believe Tracy spilled the beans. I think this is also it's not from a studio album. I know that much.
Correct.
So it's from like a B tape or like a Japan only release or a live CD or something like that. Okay. I mean, obviously, it's a live recording.
It was from a live CD that they did way before they actually even recorded Gordon.
Really? This is that old?
Mm-hmm. This is that old, 1991.
Oh, wow.
So, there's no demos of this. This isn't on any of the old demos. It's not on Buck Naked. It's not on Bare Naked Recess, Bare Naked Lunch, or the Yellow Tape. This is the only recording of this was from when they did a show at the Horseshoe, and then they happened to release that year, like 30 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, and I am like really excited to talk about this one because for a long time I thought, oh well, this is going to be a cover, and I looked. I was like, because they don't.
No, it sounds like a B&L song.
But it sounds just like a B&L song.
Right, it does.
It's just very early B&L, and they never did literally anything with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not even a B-side.
I mean,
well,
we'll get to that. We'll get
to the opinions about the song.
I would love to know what our audience has to feel about this song. Please comment.
Yeah.
Let us know. Send letters.
Yeah,
I want to know what you think about
know.
this song.
This song on this live CD actually follows another song we're going to get to later this year, New Kid on the Block. So before they get to this, there's actually a lot of wonderful banter that they're doing leading up to this, and then they do a background. In the background, they kind of play a very slow and melodious version of this instrumental, but then they kick into the song right off, and that's what we'll be listening to tonight. There's not a lot to share about this song because literally there's only one recording out there ever, and they've never, ever discussed this song in any way, shape, or form. So I guess we're going to have to just go right to the music. Aaron, will you give us a breakdown?
All right, let's break it down.
Break it down.
Joseph Brown. He had two friends. This Joseph Brown starts at about...
Music, Aaron. You're doing music.
Yeah, oh, sorry. Again, my wires are all crossed, and I'm discombobulated. Joseph Brown starts off at about 188 beats per minute, but it's very loose, and it settles into something closer to about 182 beats per minute pretty quickly.
Woo!
It starts off fast, and then I think maybe they're kind of looking at each other and saying, "Oh, let's slow it down a little bit." It wasn't anything major, but it was noticeable. Written in the key of E major, although it's out of tune. So it's actually somewhere between E and F, technically. It's some kind of note, it's not even a semitone, I guess, something between those two Western scale notes. They're in tune with each other, more or less, so that's fine. It's really, basically, it's a very simple song. It's E major to B major to A major, where they have 1, 5, 4, right? It's pretty much the entire song. I'm not even kidding. Those are the only 3 chords in the entire song. Now,
I thought you were like, I have to break this week's song down. I'm like, no, you don't.
Yeah.
No.
Tracy was like, you'll be able to break this down really quickly. So this was a kind of a nice, easy week for me. But no, it's 3 chords. It's 1, 5, 4. That's all it is. Now again, that in itself does not necessarily mean the song is good or bad or whatever. I'm just stating the facts here, trying to get out in front of the controversy.
What they lack in the musical complexity, they make up in the lyrics.
The lyrics are interesting. We'll discuss those. But yeah, the 1-5-4 is the verse chord changes. There is a B section which goes from A major to B major, back to the verse section, E to B to A. It's barely a change, and it's instrumental. Mm-hmm. and aside from that, that's pretty much it.
I love that instrumental, like the congas.
I do too. Yeah.
I was gonna just I'll talk about those in a second, because you know me, I'm a percussionist, so I definitely like that. But yeah, the structure this is almost like a folk tune where you've just got, there's no chorus, there's just a million verses, right? So you have verse 1, A, verse 2, A, 3, A, 4, A, instrumental section, B, verse 5, A, verse 6, it's not really a verse, but it's a whistle solo, but it's also the A changes. Verse 7, Dan takes Jill to the high school prom. Verse 8, which is kind of a half verse, and then there's verse 9 and verse 10, which is much slower. And this is perhaps the most significant change in the entire song, just that slowdown at the end there, although it's still the same 3 chords. So you have like A, 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 B, A, 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 A. But, you could make an argument that the brief instrumental section that I'm choosing to call B isn't significant enough to warrant itself its own section letter, in which case it would just be Now the song itself, it's an upbeat, bouncy tune. It reminds me of another band or artist, but I actually can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe Spin Doctors a little? What do you guys think? I don't know.
I could hear that, yeah.
I definitely got like a 90s alternative, kind of softer alternative rock
Pocket full of kryptonite kind of feel to it. Yeah, right. Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
This song, I hear House Martins. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's carried mainly by the acoustic guitar, bass, and percussion, which I like that we have both a drum set and congas / bongos. It gives it, I don't know, kind of like a Jimmy Buffett feel, but slightly more manic. Like, what if Jimmy traded the margaritas for Coke? I shouldn't say that. That wasn't aimed at anyone in particular. Let it be known.
Methamphetamines in paradise.
Yeah. Meth lab. I need like a Breaking Bad reference.
You gotta sing it really fast though. Meth lab in paradise. Meth lab in paradise.
Oh dear. I will say I like the vocal harmonies.
Yes, absolutely.
Those are very BNL, classic BNL harmonies.
That Steve Ed thing going on there, that was great.
Yeah. And knowing this is early BNL actually kind of is interesting to me because you can see the DNA of what the band will become. You can kind of hear it in this. I like the energy of the song and how upbeat and fun it is, and you can tell the band are just goofing around on this simple little tune, and you can tell they're having fun, and that's cool. That's infectious. I feel like if I were at a concert and caught them playing this live, I would probably like it more than just me listening to this recording. A live recording just isn't going to capture that same feeling of being there to watch them perform. But, it's a fun little tune. And that's pretty much my summation.
And you feel the live thing with the banter, and that's why we go to see BNL live. It's because of the banter and everything like that, too, and the random shout-out. You mentioned the folky feel to it. Of course, they're going to mention, I guess, what you would call a folk singer, which would be Boxcar Willie. And which I absolutely love because here's a little disclaimer. I love Boxcar Willie. So
do you whistle his name often?
I don't know. No, I can't. I'm not that talented. Anyone who listens to my YouTube channel, I know.
As a Disney fan, I was just thinking Steamboat Willie the whole time.
Anyone who has listened to this song, I dare you to not actually try to whistle Boxcar Willie, though. Because I know I did. I was like, wait, can I do that? Oh, wait. And I've been trying.
Can you try now?
I can't whistle, so
Can you try now?
Yeah, let's hear it. He just puts his lips together and blows.
Wait, was that a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reference?
That was totally a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids reference.
Nice.
Because I go there. That's the content
Deep
that people
cuts.
come here for. Yeah.
Deep
right.
cut.
Let's talk about what the song is about.
Oh dear God!
Because it's a very simple song musically.
You would think, yeah.
But then we get to the lyrics.
Here we go.
This is where we're going to start having
brace yourself, audience.
I think I know the verse you're about to talk about.
Every verse.
Well, it starts off by talking about Joseph Brown. And believe it or not, he has two friends.
I've heard
what
that.
were their names?
Their names were Dan and Jillian.
Which
now,
is
if you didn't get that,
that is a clever rhyme, by the way. I like that rhyme. I wish they would have doubled up on it on the first stanza, but I do like that rhyme. That was cute.
Yes. I personally like this, not the rhyme schemes or stuff like that, but I like the story that this is telling in that there's a moral to this story, which is that it's friends grow together, they switch around, they grow apart, they pretty much friends, like you have the composition of the friendship that constantly keeps changing. So, sometimes it's Dan and Jillian, sometimes it's Joe and Jillian, sometimes it's Joe and Dan, but it keeps switching around, and then eventually they all kind of grow apart, and they don't dislike each other, they just grow apart from each other, and they still send each other Christmas cards and want to stay friends.
If there was a Friends special in 2021.
It's got that kind of real life feel to it because that's what friendships do. I mean, a lot of the relationships and friendships, I know for me personally, that I had and people that I thought were going to be this or this or this may not be. And I had that kind of little love triangle. I actually that hit me because I had that bit of a love triangle when I was in school too, in high school. And these days now, we just kind of laugh about it because we're all grown up and we're all with different people. And we look back at the dumb things we did and we're like, oh, that was funny, actually. But, I kind of feel that aspect of it, too. I do take from this that there is a little bit of like a jealousy love triangle going on between Joseph, Dan, and Jillian, where... Joseph's in love with Dan and Jillian. That second stanza, I really like. The more I listen to it, the third stanza with Joseph Brown is on the merry-go-round. Like he's constantly going around and around. He's being spun around. He feels like he's kind of on this wheel where he's getting closer and he doesn't. Dan and Jill on the seesaw to me is a classic Steve sexual innuendo. I feel that that's the
that's pretty. Yeah.
Which brings us to the third line. Who the hell is Brian King and why is he such a dickhead? Can we say?
Yeah.
Can I say that? Can I say that?
Yeah, that you could have killed Dan, Brian. I hope you're ashamed of yourself.
He could have. I mean, come on, Brian. What the hell?
Well, and why did Joe and Jillian run away? But you know what this brings me up to? We now know where the song "I Saw It" came from. Because Dan and Jillian saw it and ran away on the playground. And then later on...
Brian, you bully?
Whoa. In defense of Brian King, I believe it was the great Bob Dylan who once said, "Everybody must get stoned."
That's not that way.
Not that way.
Not in the
Let he who is
sense.
let he who's without sin cast the first stone.
I guess Brian King is
not
without
sin.
I would be very surprised if Brian King were without sin.
But he's not.
Being a human being.
Have you looked in his bedroom? That kid is messed up. I have never seen so many dead animals in my life.
Oh my goodness.
Sorry.
I want to know where this Brian
I don't know
King
where that
kid
came
is
from
today.
He's the one sending Christmas cards.
I was gonna say, wasn't
I love you guys so much. Sorry about the stones.
Wasn't Dexter's brother named Brian?
The Dexter cartoon? The Dexter cartoon or the Dexter
Dexter
TV
the
show?
serial killer, yeah.
I'm sorry about the stones. Here's some Christmas scones.
It's Christmas scones.
Good old Brian can still
I
run
want
like
Christmas
a maniac.
scones.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I thought they said to scone you. I mean, never mind. I was going somewhere with that, but I zigged when I should have zagged. I'm still crossing my wires.
I must live in the wrong part of the country because growing up I was never sconed.
Everybody must get sconed. Apologies to Bob Dylan.
You know, the Rolling Stones are my favorite band, actually.
They're horrible.
Like a complete unknown. Like a rolling scone.
Well, you know, Rolling Scones are okay to eat because they grow no moss.
That is true. That is true. They're like Twinkies. In that way. Never get old.
See,
always,
I'm the straight man.
Good.
I throw the pitch and just wait for the home run to... I like the verse before that, the rhyme, where summer days walking on the strand. Because, like, how often do you hear the word strand in a song?
You don't very much. Unless you're
We're going to educate you.
Unless you're talking about knitting.
Different type of strand.
Yeah, I know.
There was a movie theater called The Strand.
There
when I
was,
lived in
yeah.
Skowhegan. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Of course, Stephen King once... No, never mind. The Strand. I think he wrote that about 2020.
That's right.
The Strand would have worked if it was about a flu, a super... I don't know. The Andromeda Strand. That's more of a strain, I guess.
That's a
It's
strain.
more of a strain. You're straining for that, Joe.
I'm really,
yeah.
I'm reaching here. I should be sconed to death.
So, do we want to talk about the fourth verse?
We don't.
Yeah,
we don't. We really don't want to talk about the fourth verse.
That's the one that made my eyebrows go up like
Your
Spock.
kids,
you know?
your
Like,
kids
wait,
might listen
what?
to this song, Tracy. This episode.
They may have already.
Every one of us is different, said Joseph Brown.
Oh,
and I
God.
just, of course, immediately think of the life of Brian. Yes, we're all different. I'm not.
And then he shows just how different he is. He pulled
He
his-
pulled his
Always
trousers
look on the
down.
bright side of life.
Here's my bright side.
Oh, as I pulled my trousers down.
There's the moon, and here's the sun.
Surprised that Brian King didn't try throwing stones at Joseph Brown after he pulled
God.
that.
They
That's
were
sexual
off.
harassment.
They were already off somewhere. They ditched Dan. They were gone. They ditched Dan, ran off somewhere. He's whipping off his trousers. And then we
See?
find out
Well,
they're 12.
Well, they're 8.
Can we talk about the elephant in the room?
They're
Wait. You're saying you were just talking about Joe pulling his trousers down. Now you're talking about an elephant.
Yeah, what if that's not the elephant?
No, the elephant is... Oh, my God. We're back to Have You Seen My Love here. We got to talk about the lines that bother us.
Jill caught a good look of Joseph's love.
His elephant, if you will.
Okay, so what's the elephant that I'm missing here?
I did that age. What is up with the age? Like
the 8-year-old?
No.
I will 12. Say, kids might get a little experimental in their young ages and be exploratory.
Yeah, I've heard tell of that. I was very prudish at that age.
But not at 8 years old.
I really like being 8, but I'd rather be 12. I just can't wait.
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
This is weird. This gets weird, folks.
I don't know. Working in a school, I have heard kids, like, they are very eager to be older than who they are.
I was fine playing Nintendo and balancing on a fence in the park.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he is going for a rhyme there, but I really do think that really when it comes down to it, it's like that, like people wishing that they could grow up and be older than they are instead of just enjoying the age that they are.
Cool, but let's not put that in a song where you're talking about taking your trousers off.
Yeah, that was...
That's all good. That's all fine and good.
I think, Tracy, it's the proximity of those two concepts.
Right after.
It could have been two separate verses, maybe.
She sees his trousers down and goes,
his elephant.
I can't wait till I'm 12.
Yeah. Holy crap, kids are growing up so fast these days.
That's when I can get that arranged marriage and really take advantage of that elephant.
What is this, the Renaissance? My betrothed. We've known each other since we were 8, and I showed them my elephant.
Oh, my God.
My elephant.
Yea, verily, I shall present my elephant to thee.
That is more of an earthworm, sir.
Sicketh burneth.
Oh, man. Nothing sexier at 8 years old than someone pulling down their trousers and showing their Optimus Prime undies.
Aaron has left the chat. I don't know these people, FBI. I don't know them.
The Bare Naked ABCs
we're all going to be on a list after this episode.
Look, if you weren't on a list already, you are now. Just throwing it out there.
There's no way I can edit that correctly. There's just...
No, it's going to stay in all its glory.
So now that Jeff has thrown his trousers down, let's move on to the next comment.
No, I've got an elephant. If we're really being serious.
So then they go to being 12 years old, and now they're not thinking that girls are cool.
We're almost 4 years away from this song being safe. Maybe 8, 9. Jeez.
Well, now it's all... Jill is at the mall, and Joe and Dan are playing ball. Like, it's nice and naive and easygoing and innocent. I don't know a lot of 12-year-olds these days, honestly, that have this frame of mind, though. Maybe back in the 80s. Back in the 80s, I could see this, but these days, there's no way that 12-year-olds are like, girls, who could care less? Half of them have girlfriends at this point.
Yeah, but they're kind of fickle, though, right? I mean, at 12 years old, you're not still sure what you want. You're kind of in that kind of middle zone, I think.
Well, yeah, but I don't know many 12-year-olds that are saying girls just aren't no fun.
I did. But
no, well, that's what I mean. Back in the 80s, yes.
Nerds did, Tracy, but...
Well, yeah, I am quite aware of that.
I'm going to go play Dungeons & Dragons.
I really want a girlfriend. Oh my God, the new Final Fantasy just came out. Never mind.
Yeah.
What, Star Wars? in the theater?
Like I said, some of us may have been really big geeks and nerds back then and may not have realized that
I might not
girls
be the
are
song's audience.
existing. But obviously, Steve didn't have that view. And then I'm hoping that they jump way ahead, because now we're at the high school prom. And Dan and Jill go to the high school prom, and Joe stays at home.
Aww.
And is jealous that he's being left out. Now, here's a
It's
question.
like he whipped off his trousers at 8 years old for nothing.
It's like somehow he embarrassed her or something. Like, why?
Maybe. I don't know.
Why didn't she invite him to the prom? Wow.
I don't know.
That's the response I got when I asked girls to the prom, guys. Right there.
So let's talk about the line, the jealous Joe Brown versus Jillian's door. He's surprised to find Dan's trousers on the floor.
Is it so I wonder if this is transposed incorrectly. I didn't hear that line the way that it's written online. I heard jealous Joe Brown goes to Jillian's door.
Oh.
And then he's surprised to find Dan's trousers on the floor. I think that makes more sense than
it does,
him having a battle with this door.
Versus the door. Batman v Superman. Joe Brown v Jillian's door.
Martha!
Yeah, Zack Snyder needs to get on this right away.
But obviously,
I know he doesn't.
Joe is very naive, because he doesn't expect on the night of the high school prom to see Dan's trousers on the floor. I mean, I was naive, but I wasn't that naive to know that wouldn't happen.
I got nothing, man. I didn't go to my high school prom. I was like George Lucas.
Audience,
wow,
we're gonna need you on this one.
You guys are leaving this alone. Earlier, you went with the elephant in the room comment for 10 minutes. You're leaving that comment alone. Wow. Thanks for the solidarity. Wow.
This song makes me uncomfortable. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tracy had two friends.
Their names were Jeff and Aaron.
I never showed Aaron my I never took off my trousers in front of Aaron. I don't think.
Just
I wouldn't be on this show anymore.
No, Stefan would. Yeah.
I would be in the witness protection program, I think.
I'm not even touching that.
That's what she said.
And by she
Who,
means
Jillian?
No, your wife.
Yeah. I love
Oh no,
you
wait,
guys.
you have kids. Never mind. Obviously, that wasn't the case.
They're adopted. Sorry.
Look
Sorry,
an awful
kids.
lot like the
Sorry you had
Milkman.
to. Sorry you had to learn this way, kids. This is not the way I was hoping.
By
you'd
listening to
find
the podcast. Dad, stop doing the podcast. I'm learning too much.
Then we have them split apart. End of high school. Joseph leaves, and then, you know what? Jillian leaves Dan.
We know what happens.
And you know what? She finds herself married to some other man.
Not quite the elephant she wanted.
I do like the last verse, though. The once a year they get Christmas card from the childhood friend from the schoolyard.
Yeah.
Like,
it is sweet.
I really
it's
liked
very sweet.
that.
Yeah.
Friends
And I
like
think
to
the
break.
song as a whole is kind of this just little sweet kind of song, except for the trousers piece.
Except for the trousers.
In fairness, the song
wonder-
does hit on a lot of things. I mean, we all go through
it does.
weird experiences as kids. We have friendships that become maybe something more. I think I like this person, and the experimentation that goes through it all. I mean, if I'm being honest, it's very honest. It hits on something that a lot of songs don't. And ultimately you fall apart. And this song was put out a long time ago, but it really applies to now. I like I said, I know that on social media, on Facebook, I've now refriended a lot of those people that I had those weird experiences with, and we're like, you look back and you're like, that's crazy to talk about that. We're not those people anymore, but it does happen, and the song is very honest and very true, and there's something really cool about that.
I'm curious. I have a question for both of you, because what you just said there, Jeff, kind of sparked something. Have you ever been approached by someone, either the friend request on Facebook, or actually seen someone IRL from your youth who used to be a total a-hole jerk to you, and they're just like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yes.
How did you deal with that?
And vice versa. I've had friends that I was absolutely, totally great friends with, that I've reconnected with, that have some really far out there views, or just like
we all have those friends.
Yeah, like I'm like, oh my god, how were we ever friends back then? But yeah, there are definitely people that I've re-encountered on social media that we had these little triads or spats with, or silly little high school things with, that we're just now like good friends, and we talk all the time, and we're like, we gotta hang out again, But yeah,
people change so much. So much.
Well, and I had a Brian King in my own life, who I have since seen on Facebook and talked to on Facebook, and I don't think that he realizes that he was a Brian King to me.
For a second, I thought you meant you knew someone literally named Brian King. I was going to ask if he threw stones at you. But
no, I will not give out
speaking metaphorically.
This gentleman's name.
Yeah, we're on to you, Brian King. we got your number.
But yeah, it's kind of odd looking back and seeing people that were not kind to you as a youth, and where their life has gone.
Well, and to a certain extent too, I think I made mistakes, believe it or not, audience.
No.
I wasn't always perfect either, but I think there was a part of me that may have been a little bit more of the Dan in the story, or the Joseph, or vice versa. That new relationship with somebody back then.
Wait. You were Dan or you were Joseph? I mean, there's a difference in which dropping trowel happens.
I think it was more of the Joseph, actually.
And,
so there was a situation when I was a kid, in high school, where I was probably more of the Joseph, where I'm not saying I dropped trowel, but I had a good friend of mine who had a girlfriend who we were kind of like a mutual triad of friends, and I kind of weaned my way in and got myself into a little predicament and kind of stole the girl away briefly, not because there was a Brian King, and that the guy, the friend of mine, we're actually good friends on Facebook now, because we look back and we're like, we're not those people anymore. That's not something I would do now, but this song does kind of speak to that. We do.
And that Jillian was just such a. I mean, who really wanted to be with her anyways?
Right. Actually, we're friends with her too on social media. But
do you guys send each other Christmas cards?
We do, yeah. But you didn't look back now. We all have our own families. We're all happy and everything. And you look back and you're like, that was goofy. That was really silly. But that's just part of life. It's just what you go through. You do dumb things and you learn from them. I tell my kids all the time, you're not going to be happy in life until you admit, I wasn't always great, or I made mistakes, and you fix them. I mean, I speak for myself, maybe not everybody, but I know I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. I'm not perfect. And I'm not the person I was back in high school, or even at 20 or 25 or even 30. And, I think this song kind of speaks to that for me. That we do grow and we learn and we become better people because of our mistakes or things we've done. Well, did I just get way too deep for this song? I'm sorry. I apologize. I won't do that.
No, I think that's a good thing. We can find something of depth in it.
Well, I think this song is deeper than it comes across. I think it comes across as this really kind of silly kind of song, but it's much more than that. And I think you get that in that last verse. I also really do enjoy the interlude, I guess would be the best way to put it, because it's not really a bridge, it's more of an instrumental, but I like they're doing something different with it, and they change it up just enough. Yeah, I can see we have so much to add about this. Honestly, this is the deepest cut we're ever going to get right here. Like, literally, wasn't on any kind of demo or album.
I don't know. So I think the deepest cut is How's the Level.
I think the deepest
pretty much so. Yeah, that was deep.
That's pretty deep. I will give that.
And we all gave that one what, like a 4.7, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's in the top 10.
That's definitely really up there. Yeah.
Well, what are we gonna give this song, Jeff? What is our ranking system?
Well, it's not gonna be Trousers, that's for sure.
Scones.
How many pants?
Scones. Yes. Let's do scones. On a scale of 0 to 5, how many scones do you give this song? And we're going to start with Aaron.
All right. So the reason I Still Miss Someone on my mind was I thought this was probably that was the best song to compare this to, even though, they're fairly different in feel, but in structure they're kind of similar.
Well, that's the song that actually follows this up on that album.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one is more bouncy. It's not quite. What's the word I'm looking for here? See, I'm too tired. I'm sorry. It's not quite bluegrass, but it's got that kind of feel to it in the little ways. This one's a little more, pop rocky, but it's still got that, kind of folksy kind of structure. I Still Miss Someone a little better. I Still Miss Someone a 3.2. I mean, this song did not have a Very Tired Bishop or a Tom Lehrer reference, so it can never be quite as good, in my opinion. But it certainly isn't bad. It's not a bad song, I'm going to give I Still Miss Someone...
Nope.
Oh, I still miss... See, I told you.
You still keep missing that song.
I'm going to give I Still Miss Someone the same score I gave it last time. No, I'm going to give...
What about Joseph Brown, though? What are you going to
Well, I don't know. He needs to be punished for dropping trout. No, I don't know. Joseph Brown, I'll give it an even 3 scones out of 5.
All right.
Okay. This one's weird for me. I'll do mine next. This one's weird for me because when I first heard it, I kind of not wanted to like it because it did make me feel a bit uncomfortable because of what was referenced at the ages and everything like that too. The more I listen to it, it's a fun song. I love the harms. I love the percussion on this song a lot. The congos, the bongos. It's got a good feel to it. It's very simple. But the more we talked about it, I realized it does hit on something that does resonate with me. And that is, it does talk about that whole childhood feel, that, those friendships that we have, those little love triangles, the crushes, even maybe the mistakes we made, the jealousies we felt. I like that. And the fact that, as we get older, I kind of told that story, as far as it related to me, and maybe that will be cut, I don't know. But,
you just referenced the story that never happened.
I just referenced a story that never happened, but I don't care. But it does resonate with me because there is a story there that I can relate to. That the whole love triangle that you have where you and your best friends are, still experimenting. You're still unsure. Does it feel weird to put it in a song? Yes. Would I do it? No. But I do get that, and there's a gutsiness to that I kind of like. And ultimately, it comes down to the fact that, as we get older, we get our own families. Most people aren't with or don't spend the rest of their life with that person they were with back then. In this day and age, you reconnect, and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe we did that. And you talk and you joke around. And it's very real. There's a very realness to the song that I like lyrically. So I think I actually bumped my score up from what I had. I originally had this at a 2.9. Talking tonight, I'm actually going to give it a 3.4.
All right.
What is the trouble with Tracy?
Oh, that's true. So I will cover that in my review. Actually, let's do that. So my trouble with this song is that this was never even on rarities. Like, obviously the trouble with the song is it was never truly flushed out. It was they never did anything with this song, and I would have loved to have seen this be a rarity. I would have, like, there was that rarities CD. Why was this not on there? Like, this is what I wanted to hear. Songs that we'd never heard before. And I'm really, really sad that this never made even a B-side. Once again, I'm on my 30-foot horse here, but it's not perfect. But it's something that fans want to hear, and this is something I really wish that I had heard until recently, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that we had it on this show. Is it's a super deep dive, and I think if you're a deep BNL fan, you deserve to hear this song. The harmonies are really good. I wish we'd had an official recording of this song where they'd gone through and maybe cleaned up some of it. Not literally cleaned it up, like taking out the trousers line, because I smile with that line. Like, I read those lines as innocent, like he dropped his trousers, but not in a sexual way, but just as this curious experimental type way of 8-year-olds. Well, younger than 8-year-olds usually. And then I like the fact that they call back to it later on with the very much more adult dropping trousers. And calling back to that, but showing that there's maturity, but also not maturity in that action. I really like this song. I have to give it a 3.2.
Our trousers are still here.
People may or may not like. Okay, good. Keep them on. This is not the naked track. So the appearance for this week.
Stefan's not here tonight, so we're good.
Another really deep cut. I'm going to share screen so you guys can see this deep cut. So I really love these little spots in the middle of the concerts where Tyler would just suddenly, for no reason, they would cut to him and he would just be the zany person that he is and sing something random like "I like poop" from the 9-year-old point of view. Like, it's cute, it's funny, and I miss those days of seeing that kind of. I'm sorry, it is immature humor, but it's my type of humor. Because I could see myself, if I did not have the job I have, walking around singing this song. We know that Jeff walks around all day long singing the bird poop rap.
Sorry,
That's
I had a
your
child
fault.
paging.
You should never have walked away.
I had a child paging. That was awesome.
That might be the best. Yeah, that might be the best. The best audience reaction I've heard to a drum solo that wasn't played by Neil Peart.
Right.
That is the best 9-year-old drum solo ever, right there.
Oh, it was so good though. That was fun.
Rhyming poop with group was just.
Yes, yeah, that was fun. I love that.
I love it when Tyler just has fun out there, and he's like, you know what? I am just going to be as zany as I absolutely can be, Because he
has the talent to back it up. Like, he's really good at what he does, and it was fun.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
But to sit there and play the drums as a 9-year-old and still make it sound good was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And to sing about poop. I mean, how many people?
I think that's one thing that we love about BNL. I mean, you never know what you're going to get in a live show. Like, they just go off, and it's great.
Yeah. What the world needs now is poop, sweet poop.
I wrote a poop song. I own it.
Apologies to Burt Bacharach.
Oh, speaking of Burt Bacharach, we're going to be coming to one of his songs probably pretty soon here.
Interesting.
Actually, no, it's a long ways off. It's our last song.
Our last song? That was
a bit of a contrast with coming right up.
So basically, in 20 years, we're going to get to that one.
Yeah, right. Pretty much.
Years. Burt Bacharach, come on the show.
No, I was just toying around with you guys. We're not covering the Burt Bacharach song until much, much later. So, I'm sorry. I just like to toy with you.
Oh, dear God. Here he goes. So Tracy, what's
guess
our
what
next
week's song is?
Why don't you hop on your Segway and tell us?
That was it. You missed the segue. It's gone. Because next week we're gonna be discussing the song "Just a Toy."
Good one, Stretch Armstrong.
Oh, I thought it was Pinch Me. Oh. Huh.
Okay, later. Not now.
Oh yeah, all right. Promise?
Promise. Just don't drop trowel.
I knew that was coming.
Please, by the way, let us know what you thought about this song in the comments.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear other people's
Do we have
thoughts.
comments?
Yes. Please send us email to either our Facebook group, which is Bare Naked ABCs. You could also find us on Twitter. Send us a response there. Or you could also send us an email at barenakedabcs@gmail.com. Oh, well, thank you guys for joining me this week. And thanks. That was fun.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Thanks, that was fun. Don't forget, no regrets, except maybe one.
To celebrate joining Pantheon Podcasts, Rock Camp, the podcast, the official podcast of Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp, is giving away a guitar signed by Mike Portnoy of Dream Theater, Marty Friedman, formerly of Megadeth, and legendary shredder Zakk Wylde, plus our rockstar counselors like Vinny Appice, Monty Pittman, and more. To enter to win, simply follow, rate, and review our podcast on your preferred platform, and that's all you have to do. For more information, go to rockcamp.com/podcast.